Welcome back everyone to KeithtalksTerabithia, and for this video I want to talk about a very common, I don't want to say criticism, but very common question people have about the movie, and that is, does Jess and Leslie actually love each other? And just say up front here, when I'm talking about love, I'm talking about romantic love, like boyfriend-girlfriend type of love. And to answer that question up front, no. According to everyone involved with the movie, that was not their intent. Jess and Leslie do love each other, but as friends, not as boyfriend and girlfriend. Now, that's not the end of this entire discussion. No, we're just getting started, because you would think that would be the case, but no. Because even when I first watched the movie, I'm like, are they romantically in love? Are they catching feelings for one another? But looking at the movie itself, looking at Jess and Leslie, can we say, does each one of them actually love each other romantically? Could you make that decision? First, I'm going to look at Leslie first, as she's way easier to distinguish for this question. And the question is no. Leslie does not love Jess romantically at all. There's no part of the movie where she's like in love with him romantically. She's infatuated by him and cares about him and sees him as an equal, but she does not love him romantically. She's too naive to consider that. That's why, Jess sees her in a special way, because she's not like the other girls, where she doesn't really care about romantic feelings like that. Like other girls in the movie, they do care about romantic interests, but she does not, and that's why Jess becomes friends with her. So the easy question for that is, Leslie does not have any romantic feelings towards Jess. Now, Jess is more interesting, as Jess does have a love interest, being his teacher that he loves, or I guess wants to date or something like that. And so you would think that, at some point that would then translate to having feelings for Leslie. Well, no. Well, maybe, because when a very misconception is when, in the last scene where Leslie is alive, Jess looks at her, and he is like this look of, people say love. Now, that's not really the case to me. I mean, you can interpret it like that, but it's not. It's a look of friendship and, looking at something going, wow, I'm friends with that person, that type of look. And I understand it looks like a look of love, and people interpret it like that, even though that's not the case. But in a hypothetical, if Leslie didn't die and she was still alive, when they went to high school, for example, when they became teenagers, young adults, I can totally see Jess asking Leslie out, becoming more than friends. I mean, it's up to Leslie to decide in that case. Like I said, for Leslie, she's too naive to have those type of feelings yet. Maybe, if there would have been sequels for this movie, if they would have chosen to not kill off Leslie, maybe there would have been a character arc where she, matures and, loses, I guess not lose her naivety, but more becomes more mature and, not in a sort of idolized world where, they could become a couple, and I can totally see them becoming a romantic couple if Leslie didn't die. So that's more hypothetical for the future, but in the movie itself, in the actual, scenes themselves, no, Jess does not see Leslie in a romantic way, in my opinion, because in the movie he's too infatuated with Miss Edmonds to consider Leslie to be another romantic interest. But as time goes on, in my hypothetical, yeah, Jess would probably see Leslie as a romantic interest. To wrap things up, I do understand why people feel this way, because in real life, Sophia Robb and Josh Hutcherson did date in real life. They were a couple during filming, secretly, which I find very ironic, but they were a couple secretly dating, and so because of that, the looks that Leslie gives to Jess, more specifically to Sophia Robb, I think what way that she looks at, Josh Hutcherson in the scenes, they look like looks of love. Sophia Robb is just obsessed with him and gets fully in love with him, and that's not the filmmaker's fault, because it's more just Sophia Robb's pre-pubescent preteen hormones, you could say, going off. Because when you have two preteens spend all day together every day, yeah, that's what's gonna happen. But I'm gonna end things here. If you guys can go hit like button, subscribe, and also happy April Fool's Day, everyone. Yeah, this is an April Fool's joke, full on April Fool's joke. Hope you enjoyed the video though. I mean, it has nothing to do with Star Wars, but a different topic. But yeah, my idea for this April Fool's video is, what if this is an alternate timeline? When I said I made a channel about Star Wars, it was about Bridge of Terabithia. That's why I call it Keith Talks Terabithia. But don't worry, this is an April Fool's joke, and we go back to Star Wars next video. I just want to try this out, but like I said earlier, if you guys enjoy, hit the like button, subscribe. We're gonna go now, so goodbye everyone.